This year, I'm looking to get what everybody else wants to get out on the golf course, and that is a little bit more consistency. And consistency is key, guys. Obviously, we want to see that I'm consistently hitting greens, I'm consistently hitting it closer, but how am I going to do that? Well, I've got a little device that's going to help me this year. It's not only going to help me, it's going to help you, it's going to help mid-handicap Dave to better understand how you can improve your golf this year, hit more greens, hit more fairways, and lower your scores. And guys, that is the device you can see on screen now. That is HackMotion. It's a device that can go on your lead or trail wrist and help you better understand the main parts that are in contact with the club. So we're better understanding if our grip is correct, if that is costing us shots. Also, it's helping us understand if we are hinging the club, if we're rotating our forearms, which are all things that are really important in regards to squaring up that club face. If we can square up your club face that little bit more, obviously we can start to get you hitting the ball further, hitting it more out of the centre and getting better at golf. Obviously for me, one big thing that I don't get is I don't get the optimum distance. So I often see if I misstrike a shot, I often lose it to the right, but I often come up short. It's very rare, or that is what we probably see from 99% of golfers. You're often short, and maybe it's not because you're underclubbing, because everyone will say, well, you've just not took enough club. I've took enough club to reach this distance, but I'm just not getting the strike, and I'm not getting the speed out into that club head as I should, and that can all depend on where my grip is. Obviously, at impact, am I over-releasing the club? Am I under-releasing? And how is that having an effect on my golf game? Obviously, what I want to do this year is not only become more consistent, but hit longer, straighter shots, especially with the driver. This is going to be a big thing for me with driver. Obviously, I want to improve. And if you haven't checked it out, guys, James Robinson had a big, obviously, eureka moment with this device over on Get Good at Golf, which I'll link in the description below. But it's a perfect training aid for me. Obviously, I've seen a lot of it online, but I wanted to give it a go. So the guys have obviously sent me one out to test, really, to see not only can it help me get a little bit more distance, but as we all want to know, can we help mid-handicap Dave? Can we stop him from hitting shots like you can see on screen, the quick low lefts? Certainly a theme that we've seen over the last couple of years. He has a new driver now, he's got everything else fitted, he's bought everything else, but he still needs to get that driver swing working a little bit better for him, and it could be all down to this device. And again, guys, you can see on screen now, there's a lot of numbers that come from this, and we're going to go through this over the years. So a lot of things on there, we can see how we're setting up at address, we can see what's happening at the top of the backswing, and also what's happening at impact. We all know, obviously, impact is very important, but we also know that things at address could be the issue for you at impact. If we're not getting our grip correct, if our grip is making that face move throughout our backswing, that is going to have a direct effect on potentially where that golf ball is going to start and where that golf ball is going to end. You can see there's also numbers on there to see how our wrists are moving up and down. And again, this motion is obviously going to affect if you can hinge that club and you can make a full backswing. If I don't hinge my wrist, we're going to see a very short backswing, and that is all down to obviously range of movement. We know that obviously the more levers we have, potentially the more speed we have. Again, we don't want to potentially see this left arm bending, although that's something we'll talk about with Dave, but that would generate more speed. And we know we're not, well, certainly for myself, I don't seem to be getting any faster. I certainly start to be losing some speed, but I want to get that speed back, but keep the consistency of where I can hit straight shots just like that. Straight towards the flag, start to lower my scores, but how do we do that? And this is how we do it. So on HackMotion, we can go to live sessions, so we could end our practice session there. We've got some numbers, we've got some good feedback, which those numbers will go through in the coming months. Obviously from there, I want to then go onto my device, I want to go and practice, I want to measure, but I want to control my club face. We don't want it set as James Robinson, definitely not. Right, start practicing. And this is great, obviously, here for feedback. So a lot of things when you go for a lesson, you might get a coach that tells you, okay, I want to see you in this position here. And when you stood with him, yes, you're going to be able to do that. Sometimes, maybe sometimes you don't, and that's why again you return for lessons. Obviously this device here, if I hit a shot now, we can start to see another good shot there, struck well, straight towards the flag, a little bit long, I'm starting to get some distance back. But you'll see on screen there, it's giving me feedback. So obviously at the top of the backswing, I am right in the tour averages. So tour averages, you can see I've got 2 ticks in the top of the backswing and also at impact. So we can start to see that, are my wrists working in the correct manner? And if they're working in the correct manner, I should start to see more shots like that. But I can do this with a little bit of audio feedback and start to get into the position that I want to get in, so the feel is actually real. Right, bad shot there. But, so you can say I was actually in the zones there, as you'll see on screen, but for me, obviously that wasn't a great strike, but look how straight it's gone. Because my wrists are in a pretty good position, that went straight towards the green. It wasn't deviating, it wasn't going 20 yards right, it wasn't going 20 yards left. Unfortunately there, my timing was a little bit out, but my wrist positions were in a good position. So let's hit one more now. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Right, interesting there now. On screen at the top, my wrist actually got a little bit too extended, which you can see on screen, and that will be this position here. So you can see at the top of the swing, I've got a little bit of cupping, a lot of coaches might tell you. And what that does is that opens the club face, and we can see straight away there that that ball fly was straight to the right. So very interesting there that that's come up straight away on this device. But how can I practice that? Because that is my bad miss. What can we do to correct that? So again, I can click on the top now and I can go onto here and go for audio feedback, enable that, and you'll see we've started to get that noise that James ever so much loves, but it's perfect for you. You can stand here with this, maybe obviously if you're looking to get one of these guys for your practice, if you think it's your wrist, the way your wrists and arms are working are costing you shots, then there is a link in that description below. But obviously, don't be like James and putting it on in the kitchen and trying to obviously annoy the wife. But again, you can practice this at home, start to get some audio feedback when the wife's out maybe. So obviously here what I can do is start to get that noise at setup, and then as I go back, this is really where I want to hear it. If I overcup there, you'll see that I'm going to lose that noise. Again, if I go the other way and bow it too much, we're going to lose that. This would encourage you to hit the ball left. So if you're somebody who hits it left, maybe check this position at the top of your backswing. So a couple of motions there, trying to get into the slot, as they would say. And then once we're good at the top of the backswing, let's start to make some slow motions into impact. And start to get into a position here where we will be compressing the golf ball and I have control of that club face. A couple of slow repetitions, always good to do, and then get in there. Let's see if we can hit it in a motion. We've got a tick there. It's straight again towards the flag. Very good there, a little bit long. But that's a good sign. I'm starting to get a better strike. I'm starting to get more distance here with my 8-iron. And you can see on screen there, I hit the top position. You can see now, my impact there was a little bit out, only by 0.1 or +1. But that's something that I can then tune in. I can start to work on that and start to do both of those here in the simulator and then take it out on the golf course. And with it being so small, obviously I could take it out on the golf course, and you'll see in coming weeks, not only with myself, but also with mid-handicap Dave, we'll be out on the golf course putting it to the test in the real situation. So getting live data from Dave with his driver off the tees out here at Waterfront. So really putting the pressure on, seeing what's happening when he's on the golf course, because as we know, how many times we get in here or get on the driving range and hit fantastic shots, go on the golf course and it's nothing like. But guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. That is an introduction of how I'm going to start to practice this year. I want to get more speed, I want to get more distance. We're going to be monitoring that. And comment below, guys, what else do you want to see? What do you want to see from Dave? We're not only going to be doing this with the driver, we're going to be doing it with his short game, with my short game, talking through things that we want you to see, because it's a point of the game which is often overlooked. And after all, these are the only things in contact with the club, which can massively affect where that golf ball goes. And there's still room for improvement.